welcome back to It's in the Bag Crochet with Darla. I hope y'all are having a great day. Today is Wednesday, and I think it's November 9th. And I would just like to finish my story of my breast cancer journey. There's a part 1 to this, so this would be part 2. And it's just kind of a little bit of what I've gone through. So you'll have to watch part 1. I'm just going to continue on with starting my radiation treatments. So I can't remember what all I said in the last video, but we did find out that there were no lymph nodes involved that had cancer in them. So that meant that I could do a treatment that they call brachytherapy. It's a radiation treatment, and I will enclose at the end of the video I will have 2 pictures of the device that they use for this. They started out where I needed to do 10 treatments. It would be 2 treatments a day, and I would have a 5 to 6 hour break in between. Now, keep in mind, me and my husband are traveling about 25 miles from home to the hospital that we're doing this at. So it's not possible for us. I guess it's possible, it's just not feasible for us to come all the way home and go back 5 to 6 hours later. So, anyways, let me get back to how we started the treatments. So the first day I went in, they did an ultrasound to make sure that there was enough area. So when the doctor went in and did surgery, he made an area that, like a pocket, for the device to be inserted into. And so I had to have an ultrasound just to make sure that that area hadn't closed up and that it was, you know, still feasible for the device to be inserted there. So I had that done. Excuse me. And so then the doctor came in and he deadened me up, you know, in the area he needed to, and did an incision to insert this device into that pocket. And that pocket is where the actual tumor was. So it's like hitting the area right where the tumor was and around the tumor, where the tumor was. So when he inserted that, it kind of hurt a little bit. And I'm pretty tough. I don't usually say, ow, that hurts. But when he was putting that in, I said, ow, this hurts. And so they did me a little more, but it wasn't that bad. It wasn't like I was in tears and crying and stuff like that, but it did sting a bit. So after they inserted that, then I had to have a CAT scan. And for the CAT scan, what they do is they just take pictures or whatever their CAT scan does to show where that device is at and that it's in the right place, which I don't know why they couldn't do an ultrasound, but anyways, that's what I had to do. I've never been in a CAT scan before, and I'm very claustrophobic. And they assured me this isn't like a MRI, which I had one of those and just about lost my mind. But it wasn't bad. And then all of a sudden, there was a light shoo, 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 that went around on the donut part of the CAT scan machine. And I'm like, oh no, we're not looking at that because that would make me dizzy. And so I just kept my eyes closed, and and so we got that done. And before we all started this, I guess I need to let you know that I was going to have 10 treatments, 2 treatments for 5 days. They decided that I only needed 8 treatments, which meant 2 days I was going to have just 1 treatment and then the rest 2. So what they decided is Monday I would have 1 treatment, which that's when I started. That I started on Halloween Day, and went until November 4th. So on Monday and Friday, we were doing 1 treatment, and then the rest of the week we were doing 2. So I was happy about that, I had 2 days that I only had to do 1 treatment. So day 1, we have the device inserted. We've done the CAT scan. So now it's time. We have to wait around for I forgot what he's called. I forgot his name, what he was called. I think his name was Tom, but I forgot what his official position was. But, it's a physicist. And what he does is he sits at a computer. I don't know exactly what it does, but he has to be there to do the radiation. I hardly see my doctor during this whole process. I see him a couple times to talk about my YouTube channel and about crochet, because my husband had mentioned it to the surgeon. Somehow it came up. So like I said, I don't see my doctor during this process. I see the physicist and I see the nurses and the CAT scan people. So we have to wait for him to come, and then they put me in a room that's about the size of an elevator. Very claustrophobic, keep in mind. Excuse me. I'm not feeling real well and I'm losing my voice, so I apologize. So I'm in this room and I've decided I'm just going to pray. And so I pray, and they turn the light down. You can't move. I ask, can I crochet in there? They're like, oh no, we want you to relax. And so they lower the light in there and they pipe in some relaxing music. And so the whole time I just kept my eyes closed, listened to the music, and I kept praying. And I made it through. And so that was day 1. So day 2, we have to do another CAT scan to make sure the device hasn't moved. And so we do that, and then, we go through the same process. I get in the little elevator room, and I'm praying and listening to soft music, and I make it through. And so we're trying to find something to do for the 5 hours we're there. They do have a cafeteria. We go and we have some breakfast, and then we decide we're going to go shopping. And because I haven't been shopping in this town for a long time, and I used to live in this area, but I moved away about 25 miles, and then so now I'm back into my old stomping grounds. So I wanted to go to Big Lots and to Savers. And we go into Big Lots and we find, oh my gosh, we spent so much money there because we found decorations for our Christmas tree this year. We decided we're going to do a gnome theme. I am so sorry, you guys. So we did that, and I was all excited because we found, we also found, me and my husband, we collect snowmen. We've done this since probably before we were married. I think I started a snowman collection, and then when we got together, we just kept it going. We buy one special snowman every year to put in our collection to put out at Christmas time. So we found the snowman that we were going to use for this year too. So I was really excited about that. And then we go over to Savers, and I'm thinking, because I remember they used to always have yarn, and they would pack it up in bags and sell it for like really cheap. And they didn't have much of a choice. They had a lot of, I would call it vintage Red Heart yarn, but I didn't pick it up. I wasn't interested in it. If I would have had room in my, where I keep my yarn, I probably would have picked it up just to keep it, because it was old. You could tell from the label it was old. But anyways, we didn't spend much time there. And just, the waiting in between on all these days, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, was the hardest part. Trying to find something to do. I believe it was Wednesday we went, and it was a snowy day. So I'm in a wheelchair, and so we had to cover the wheelchair with a plastic bag, make sure the thing that you push to drive it didn't get wet. And here we go, to this city to do my treatments. And I'm usually not a cold person, but I really got cold, and I had a jacket on. But I like to wear, they asked me to wear kind of light clothes so that they could get to that area easier. And so I did, I didn't wear, anything really heavy. So I was a little bit cold. And the nurse, he was great. His name was, I forgot, Dale, I think was his name. Oh, my memory isn't what it used to be, you guys. And this was just last week, and I already forgot his name. I think his name was Dale. And he was the sweetest guy. And he had arranged for us to come in another way where we wouldn't get drenched getting out of the car. We would be covered. It was over by the emergency entrance. And so he'd arranged for that. And they tried to accommodate us in so many ways. He made a room available for us that we could just sit in and do our thing, watch TV if we wanted to. I crocheted a washcloth, and my husband just played games on his phone. But we did that for 6 hours, just sat there. We went to the cafeteria. We went to the gift shop there. And I bought a book that I might start reading, a daily affirmation to you guys. It's kind of, it's a biblical thing. But I can't remember the name of the book, but that will be a different video. So anyways, we get done with that day and so forth. And so, and to get through all these treatments, I'm telling you, I literally just have my eyes closed the whole time. And I'm praying, and listening to soft music. And my goal was by Friday, I would be able to keep my eyes open. And they told me, well, do whatever works for you. Why change it? Why make that a goal? And I wanted to be able to do that, but that room was so small. And I'm not good in small places. But I made it through, and I'm so glad that everything went as well as it did. So I had 8 treatments. Each treatment was about 8. Well, I started out at 8 minutes. My last treatment was about 8.5 minutes. And they were all so nice people. Where the device went in, I now have a hole there. They don't stitch it up. What they do is they just leave it open because they want it to heal from the inside out. And so every day I have to try to push the fluid, if there is any there. I didn't have a lot of drainage, and I'm still not having, but I have to push the fluid out. And then, of course, there's a bandage there because it is open. I have to keep it bandaged until it gets a scab on it. So that's what we're working on now. But on Friday, which was my last day, I get this wonderful, I guess you could call it a graduation gift. And I'll show you what's in here. First of all, this is from, this woman makes these up. And her name is Kara Fraser. And she was, they come with this card. This is her. And it tells about her story. And I think she was 26 when she got breast cancer. But it looks like she lost her hair. But this is, she did start a nonprofit. Let's see. Yeah, 26 years old. She was diagnosed with breast cancer. And she had a hard time with looking in the mirror. She didn't feel like herself. And someone gave her some mini pink boxing gloves. And as a gift, which reminded her to stay strong and never give up. So I've got, one of my gifts was a pair of pink boxing gloves. And it's Fighting Pretty. I think that's the name of her organization. Sorry guys, I'm trying to get this so that you can see how cute these are. Aren't they cute? I think you can see it okay. So I got those. So something about lipstick. Yeah, so she passed those gloves on to 5 more women. And then a Fighting Pretty movement was born. So that's the name of her nonprofit organization, is Fighting Pretty. And it's to try to help you feel beautiful while you're going through this, because you really don't feel yourself. You don't feel beautiful. You don't, and I don't wear a lot of makeup or anything normally. I used to, until I got where I really don't go anywhere. So you know, once in a while I'll wear a little lipstick or something that way. But I also got this lipstick. It's a lip gloss. And it's hard to get out of the box. But I'll show you how pretty it is. I should have put some on today, but I didn't. But it's this. And so just getting this little gift was really nice. We also received a blessing of a gas card. And that was really helpful to us because we didn't have to take out-of-pocket money to pay for gas to get there because, like I said, it's like 25 miles away. And so that would take quite a bit of gas. So I just want to say that if you're ever looking for a place to donate, your cancer centers usually can always use gas cards to give out to their patients, because a lot of them do travel a long ways, and they, you know, at the price of gas, I mean, that saved us so much getting that blessing, you know. So if that's ever on your heart, you know, look to your local cancer center and ask them if, you know, you could donate some gas cards. Because like I said, it is so helpful to people that are battling cancer and, you know, trying to worry about your financial situation. It really took a burden off of us getting that blessing. So now I'm in the recovery process. I have to go back in 6 weeks to see my radiation doctor, and I guess to make sure that all that fluid is out of that pocket. I'm not sure what they'll do. They just told me to come back in 6 weeks. And sometimes I question things, sometimes I don't. I know that, you know, I knew that I would have to go back, but I didn't question what they were going to do or anything that way. I was just so glad it was over. I had a day that I just cried all the way home. Your emotions are just all over the place when you're out of your regular routine. You know, we had to get up so early to be there by the time they wanted us to be there. And, you know, that's not normal for me or my husband because he works a swing shift. So we're used to staying up late and getting up a little later in the morning. No, that's not how this was going. So, you know, I'm a person, I deal with a lot of anxiety. And a part of that is, don't take me out of my comfort zone. And don't take me out of my original routine. And doing this, it totally stretched my boundaries that I have set for myself. You know, because of anxiety, I have these boundaries that, and it may sound weird unless you've actually been there, but I didn't like getting in the left turn lane and sitting there waiting to turn left with all the traffic around us. And so what we would have to do is make a right-hand turn, go flip a U-ey, and come back and go through the other way. It was crazy. It was totally crazy now that I look back on it. But by the grace of God, I was able to do intersections that I really would have avoided before. And just 1 second, my phone is going dead. I need to plug it in. I don't want to die on you guys. Sorry about that, you guys. Just give me 1 second. I should have checked before I started. I apologize. So, it spread my boundaries in so many ways, like being in the little room. I worked my way through it, which normally I would have said, you know what, I'm out of here. I'm not doing this. And I knew I had to, so I didn't have a choice. And like I said, only by the grace of God did I, stretch these boundaries. I really struggled to travel very far away from home. 25 miles, that's not very far to most of you. But to me, with the anxiety that I deal with, I don't like going very far from home. And I got where, that wasn't that far. I didn't have the anxiety that I thought I would have. So, I think it's a mixed blessing. When I was diagnosed with cancer, I was just like, the only thing that I can totally depend on is God. And I got into reading His Word every day. I got into daily readings, praying, and getting back to what I knew would help me through this. My husband's a super big support system, but God can make things happen that my husband can't. And so by having this cancer, like I said, it was a mixed blessing because I've spread my boundaries out. And it's a good feeling because now I know that, I want to go do things more. I want to go out of town and do things. And it's just been really good for me. And that sounds weird, but in a way, this cancer's been a blessing to me. Not by receiving the cancer, but what has happened during the process of recovery, the surgery, because every appointment we have is out of town. So, and me and my husband have enjoyed some quality time together. So, I don't know what comes next on this journey, but I just wanted to keep you updated on where I was now. And the doctors are very confident that I should be fine. I should beat this. I should, be a cancer survivor. So I am very positive about this, and one thing I was going to tell you all too, this lady, she was 26 years old when she found out she had breast cancer. So she probably wasn't old enough to have a mammogram. So she probably found it, I don't know, I'm just assuming, by doing a self-breast exam. So if you're not old enough to get a mammogram, I think they start at 40, I'm not sure. I know when I was, years ago, when I first got my mammogram, it was at 40. I don't know what it is nowadays. But your self-breast exams are just as important. If you feel something, or you feel something that doesn't feel right inside there. That's the way I felt. I felt like something's not right inside. I didn't feel a lump or anything, but something inside didn't feel right. And so I went and had my mammogram. So please make sure that you're checking yourself. And if you do find something, get into your doctor right away. Because if you catch it early, you can be a cancer survivor. So I think that's all I have to share with you guys today. I appreciate you that have stayed to the end of the video. I know I took a lot of your time today, but I do appreciate you listening to me. I appreciate you being so supportive of my channel by subscribing, liking, and commenting on my videos. It means more to me than you'll ever know. So I'll close now and wish you all a great day. And we're getting close to the weekend. If I don't see you before then, you have a great weekend. I love you all. Goodbye.